Hey everyone, James Nielsen-Watt here, CEO of Practice Mastery, where I help health professionals to grow and scale their practices and to develop leverage into online training programs and coaching. In this video, I'm going to be walking you through Russell Brunson's value ladder and how it helped me to triple my practice in 3 months when I just opened. So a few years ago, I was reading this book, .com Secrets, a few years ago actually, when it kind of first came out. And at this point, I was very new in practice. I was an associate, it wasn't working. I was chasing big jobs in Australia. Ended up with my girlfriend, now wife, decided to buy a small rundown practice and do it ourselves. And at that time, I'd learned a lot of stuff about online marketing. I was trying all kinds of different things. And some of it was working, some of it wasn't. But there was this principle in this book that I stumbled across. He was giving it away, completely free book. And he was talking about this idea of a value ladder. And what he means by value ladder is when a person comes in, the first thing we offer them might be, a free consultation, a discovery call. And then as they come in, we then go through something and we upsell them to one thing. So for example, a paid consultation. And then we upsell them again into a program of care. And then we upsell them again into maybe maintenance care, for example. And so I actually found the page in the book, and you can see it there. They come in, something, etc. And as you go through, they're getting more and more access to you and they're spending more and more money. And so I took this principle and I thought, well, how am I going to offer some kind of value ladder to get people to come into my practice so I can grow quickly? Because I understood that to grow a healthcare practice, I needed two things. I needed patient attraction and I needed patient retention. Anytime a person came in, if they just left straight away after having one consultation, all the effort, all the money I'd spent, the time or whatever to get that person in was kind of wasted because now they left, and so I then had to spend more time, money and effort to get another person. So I thought, well, I need to bring people in, yes. I also need to retain them. So I need to have a treatment plan that gives them a series of visits so that the lifetime value per client is higher. I started to organize systems around what I was doing so I could say to people, look, I wanted to see you twice a week for 6 weeks, once a week for 8 weeks, whatever. And then I thought, well, that's kind of my primary offer. They come in for a new patient, I'm going to offer them a plan of care rather than just session to session. That was my first value ladder pitch. And so I started doing that and it was working. I had better retention, I was making more money per client, I was busier. But people still naturally started to drop off. So I thought, well, I'm working with a lot of people who have chronic pain. They want to get pain relief and I was giving them that. But it sort of would come back and they would have to come back in and do more treatment, and it wasn't really making changes for them. So I then thought about it and I thought, well, how can I make a program of care as the next step, that they've got pain relief, and so now we're going to look at getting them stronger, getting them fitter, getting them more active. So we created a function-based plan of care, and then we created a maintenance plan of care. And all of these were optional for people, but they were solving problems that they had. So I'll rephrase. They came in with a problem, I would solve it, but then there'd be a new problem. I have no pain, but I'm not fit and strong as I'd like to be. So I offer them something. I'm now fit and strong, but I want to be more functional. I want to be able to do more things and challenge my body without it kind of creating so much tension. So I created a maintenance plan, right? Every time I solved a problem, there was always a new problem that would appear as a result of that first one being solved. So I'll give you a nice and easy example. Let's say I have no money, and then you teach me something and I make some money. Now I'm making some money, I don't know what to do with that money to look after it properly. So then you teach me how to invest. And now that I'm investing, I've got all these investments, but I have all this pain and stress of having to manage all of that as well as my businesses. So then you offer a service that manages that for me. And now that that's all happening and I've got all this money, what do I do with it? How do I live my life? And so then you teach me about getting my time back and traveling or whatever. And so what you're doing is you're continually offering the next solution to the next pain that occurs when you solve that original solution. And so I took this principle and I started applying it. And that was the basics of the value ladder. And it worked. My practice was growing. But what really made the practice take off was to reverse that process. So once a person was in, I had a value ladder. But how do I get them in? And so I started dabbling in Facebook ads and things like that, and I started running these ads to these consultation offers where I get someone to come into my practice for a lower fee, which was an opportunity for them to get the information that they needed and for me to get the information I needed to be able to say, can I help you or not? They would then understand whether I could help, what they needed to do, and then I would offer them a plan of care. And I was able to implement this, and my practice literally tripled almost overnight. I went from, I think we're seeing 50 people a week to 150 within 3 months. 8 months later, I had 2 clinics. One of my clinics was doing over 200 and something patients visits a week. The other practice was doing 150, and I just started scaling like crazy because I understood that when you're bringing somebody in, you need to give before you ask. And so I was offering free consultations, I was offering discounted consultations, I was offering webinars, I was doing workshops, I was doing free consults at workplaces, etc. And all of these things were lowball offers to get people to be interested and listen to me and have a conversation so that I could establish value with them, that I knew what I was talking about, and that I could then help them. And half of them required so much time and effort that I slowly just started getting rid of them and replacing it. And so my Facebook ads were working so well, and I was getting so many people in for consultations that I was literally able to get rid of everything else that I was doing and put all my time and focus into seeing clients. And so instead of spending all Saturday at a screening event or a workshop, I just spent all Saturday seeing clients. Instead of staying up all night and making a bunch of content and posting it on social media or planning my next workshop, I just saw clients or got a good night's sleep, which meant I could get up earlier, be more fresh, and work in the morning. And so what it meant was I went from all of this crap that I was doing to centralized into 1 or 2 things that were working really well. It filled my practice with new clients. I was able to cherry pick who I wanted to work with, kind of like a big bucket of apples, and you're sifting through to figure out which ones are nice and ripe to eat. The ones that were not a good fit, I would refer them on. If they were a good fit, I would say, hey, look, this is what I think we should do. And I was able to fill my practice literally overnight because I understood that while I want a new patient and I want them to pay full price and blah, 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 I knew that I don't make money and my practice doesn't grow on new patients. My practice goes on regular visits. Regular visits are where the money is. And if somebody comes in and let's say the consultation's $100 and it cost me $100 to get that person to come in because of a discount or something I gave them as an incentive or the marketing cost for that, it didn't matter because it meant I got new patients for free. And then every visit after that was all profit. And so I could outspend all of my competition in the area on any of the marketing that they were doing because I had the value ladder. My offers were better, I got more people in the front, and then I was able to retain people longer in the back. They were all offering discounts and then trying to treat people for $29, etc., just to get people. I understood that I just needed to get them in on the front end and then work by magic, make an offer of this is what we're going to do to get results, and people would stick it out because my lifetime value of my clients was higher, I had greater retention, and my cost to acquire a client, I was willing to spend more money than the next person. Now it ended up that I didn't have to spend much money at all. It cost me maybe $50 to get a new client. First visit was covered, so my ad cost was liquidated, and it meant that I was getting new patients for free, and I just scaled to the moon. And it's the exact same approach that I take with all my clients now. When people first join my programs, we get them doing what I call the consult funnel, getting people in, filling their practice up, and then we start leveraging them into other avenues like webinars, live presentations, etc. But the staple to fill a practice is running Facebook ads to an offer to get them into your clinic, and then we just go from there. Refine your conversion process, refine your retention process, develop your signature system, understand your patient profile, scale your team. It's how I helped people like Deanne generate 40 new patients a week and fill her practice with 4 and 5 associates. It's how I did the exact same thing. We have 6 practitioners. It's how body workers have tripled their practice in 3 to 4 months. I had one client of mine who quadrupled her practice. She went from $3,000 a month to $12,000 a month, and now she's working with me in a private mastermind to really take things to the moon. And it even works from optometrists. I've got neurologists, plastic surgeons. Ultimately, what it comes down to is understanding what your client wants, what they need, and what you need to be able to get them to get to the next step. If I want a person to be a client for life, I need to change their life. I need to show them the value of what I provide, and I need to help them understand the benefit to them and their health long term by doing this thing. That means that I don't have to force anybody to do anything. People come into my practice, they see me once a week, once every 2 weeks, once a month, and they're doing it out of their own accord. These are intelligent, tax-paying adults who are functioning in society, making decisions independently for themselves. No one's forcing them to come in because they see the value of what I'm providing, they feel the value, they understand it, and they make those choices. And that just comes down from having a proper value ladder, which I learned about in .com Secrets, and I'm pretty sure you can still get this book for free. If you just search it up, I'm pretty sure they send it to you for free. You just pay shipping. And this is where I got my foundations in online marketing all those years ago when I started to get into this business to grow my practice. So if you want to learn about what I'm doing now to grow my practices, what I'm doing now to grow my clients' practices, as well as their online programs, I want you to click the videos around this one. There'll be links below this one. There's also a free training that I created, which is my value ladder pitch, right? To get you in, give you value. And then if it makes sense, you can book a strategy call with me and we can discuss the specifics of applying my practice mastery method to your clinic, to your program, and to help you grow as well. So as always, keep at it. Implementation is king. You can learn a bunch of crap, but if you don't do anything with it, nothing's going to happen. So go and use these principles, and I'll see you on the next video.